ground. Joining me now is Jamil Jaffer, founder of the National Security Institute. All right, Jamil, exactly how far can Trump go?
Well, obviously, the president can go as far as he wants, but it seems unlikely that we're going to invade Greenland anytime soon. More likely, we're going to get in conversations with the Greenlandic people, as well as Denmark, which controls that country, and see if we can't work out some sort of a stronger security arrangement. We know that J.D. Vance and his wife, Usha, and their son are going to visit Greenland. They're trying to, I think, sort of reduce the temperature on things. They'll be visiting a long-standing U.S. military base there that's now a U.S. Space Force base as well.
Interesting, but let's move on. Lots to talk about. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. has pulled at least 300 visas from foreign students. Listen to this.
I don't care what movement you're involved in. Why would any country in the world allow people to come and disrupt? Now, we gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa.
You're saying it could be more than 300
sure,
visas?
I hope. At some point, I hope we run out because we've gotten rid of all of them. But we're looking every day for these lunatics.
For these lunatics. So, Jamil, will the process to apply for visas become much more difficult because of these bad actors?
Well, certainly it's going to be harder to get into the U.S. on a student visa. When these students come in on F1 or J1 visas, they're required not to pose a threat to national security or public safety. And so this has happened before. In 1979, President Carter ordered the review of 7,000 Iranian students, a number of whom were kicked out of the country for protesting after our U.S. citizens were taken hostage in Iran, in Tehran.
So it's more than just freedom of speech, is what they're doing with their speech and their actions, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, look, if you're here on a visa, you don't actually have rights under the U.S. Constitution to freedom of speech. Now, we generally give them to you, but that's a matter of grace because you're here visiting our country on a student visa. We can revoke that for any reason, but specifically on those visas, threat to public safety and threat to national security are conditions of your visa that you agree to when you come in.
Yeah, being here is a privilege. I want to get on to this one, Jamil. A man is under arrest and facing federal charges for the Molotov cocktail attack on a Tesla dealership in Las Vegas. Elon Musk and Attorney General Pam Bondi issuing a warning against any copycat attacks. Listen to this.
They're firebombing Tesla dealerships. They're shooting guns into stores. The real problem is not the people. It's not like the crazy guy that firebombs a Tesla dealership. It's the people pushing the propaganda that caused that guy to do it. Those are the real villains here, and we're going to go after them.
These people better look out. They better cut it out because we are coming after you. And at my direction, there will be no negotiating on these people.
So, Jamil, what would charges look like in these cases?
Well, this gentleman, Paul Kim, has already been charged with a variety of state charges and local charges, including arson, firebombing, and the like. There's now a question of federal charges. It's not clear what federal charges they'd bring against him. It could be things involving the transport of explosives across state lines if he did that. Other federal charges that involve some sort of interstate nexus. At the end of the day, however, the key is that we've seen these kind of activities before. We've seen attacks on ski resorts by environmental terrorists and the like. Those aren't acceptable. Whether it's federal or state charges, people shouldn't be conducting these type of activities. Nobody wants, whether it's a Tesla or a Ford or a Honda, you can't be firebombing things at a collision center.
You know, Jamil, the Democrats have been remarkably quiet on this and have been quite heavily criticized for that. They should at least denounce it, right?
Well, look, nobody should be supporting the firebombing of any vehicle. I mean, you don't have to like Elon Musk. You don't have to agree with what he's doing. But look, you can't be just attacking cars. These are individual people's property. They're sitting at a collision center because they need to be fixed, and now they're being firebombed and spray painted. People need to be prosecuted for those types of activities. It's simple vandalism.
Yes, it is indeed. We'll have to leave it right there. Jamil Jaffer, Jamil, thank you so much.